Morning everyone, welcome back to the shed. I hope you're well today. Today's lesson is how to add rivets to the surface of an aircraft model. We're going to be using two different tools, a riveting tool and some Dymo tape. The riveting tool is made by RB Productions, Radu Brinzan's company, and as you'll see it's very easy to use and creates quite a busy surface with very little effort. The Dymo tape is used to guide the tool. I don't really use that a lot, but I will show you for people who are perhaps less confident in their ability to sort of create the straight lines. I tend to freehand this, as you'll see, but I'll give you a guide in how to do it both ways, and you can make your own mind up as to which you think is best for you. We'll also be working on a model, obviously. The model that we're going to use today is Special Hobbies Nomad. Now, this is a model I hope to complete, so I won't be just going over this willy-nilly. I'm going to try and concentrate so that I get this right, because I'm hoping to use the riveting tool over the rest of the airframe and then complete the model. So what you'll see is how I would actually do this if I were building a model for real. As usual, I'll be posting some more information on my blog, so you'll see some photographs on there, plus some photographs as well of other models where I've used these ideas and these techniques. If you'd like to check that out, the address is below. I'll also put a link into the comments box as well for the blog, so you'll be able to click on that. I hope you like this, I hope you get something from this, and that I get to see the results of some of your models where you've tried these ideas out, maybe on the forums or on Facebook. So, with that out of the way, let's get started. So we have our parts. I'm just going to remove the wing surface. I'm going to use a razor saw to do this rather than cut it away using a set of clippers. The attachments to the runners are a little bit larger on these limited run kits, so rather than damage the surface of the wing, I tend to cut them away. So we'll do that quickly. These really fine razor saws are perfect for this. I just cut away from the part so that I don't damage it, and as you can see, it just goes through it really easily. So we have our part away. And now what I do is take my riveting tool, and you can see that there are panel lines running all the way along this. So the way I start this is that I take the tool and I run, using the panel line that's there as a guide, I run the tool from one end of the wing to the other. Now these tools are kind of almost self-guiding once they're into the plastic, and as long as you keep the line in sight, the tool won't really deviate from a straight line. And then I go back to the next line, push the tool into the plastic, follow the line, and then wait until I get to the end where it connects with another panel line on the other side. And now we have two very fine lines of rivets. Then what I do is I try and find a major structural break. In this case, where the air brakes are and the panel lines that run alongside that. So then what I do is I take the riveting tool and I go chordwise across the surface of the wing, and I create another line. Then go just inside the wing root, put another line there and run it all the way along. You'll see how easy it is to push this tool over the top. It doesn't move from there. So now what I've got is I've got rivets that are running from the wing root to the tip and right across the surface, and I've now basically created little squares or little rectangles, I guess, over the surface of the wing. So then what I do is I split those in half. So I go into almost kind of the midway point, and once again just push the wheel across the surface. and then I split it in half again, push it across the surface. And now I have rivets that are running in all directions, and already this wing looks a lot busier than it did before. We'll split this one up too. Make sure that when you are splitting this up, if there's any panel line detail, that you're not pushing the tool over the top of that. Make sure that wherever you put the lines of rivets, they're not fouling anything else. So what we've got now is we've got our lines of rivets. So let me show you how you would use the Dymo tape. I'll grab a set of clippers. We'll just clip a piece of this off. Remove the backing tape from this. The Dymo tape that I use here I bought, I think, online. It was in a few sets. It was very cheap, so you can get this readily, probably from your local stationers as well. They'll probably have it. So we put the tape onto the surface of the model, and now we have a guide to allow us for larger areas where you don't have a panel line and you want to split it in half. So we take our tool, push it against the side of the tape, and then run it all the way along. Take the tape away, and then if you want to, if you would like to put another line just inside there, and you want to make sure that these lines are perfectly parallel, just put the tape back on, and then put the riveting tool back against it. And now we have a wing surface that's nicely riveted. You can add as many lines of rivets as you want, really. I tend not to follow any particular guide to doing this. I put the lines of rivets where I think the structural members would be on a real aircraft. So as hopefully you can kind of see as it bounces around under the lights, you can see where the rivets are. One thing I possibly would do once I've done this so that I can see where those rivets are is rub the surface with graphite. It tends to pick up the detail and picks up the lines that I've put in there. So that's something that's kind of useful to do. And then once I finished a wing panel like this, I would do the opposite wing using this one as a guide, follow it. You want to make sure that if you're putting the rivets onto the surface that they match on both sides, and then I'd work on the fuselage as well. If we look at one of the fuselage pieces here, even if we were to leave it on the runner, you can see how easy it is simply to push this riveting tool over the surface of the model. It follows it really well. It's so well designed that you don't really have to put too much pressure on it either, and you can kind of freehand all of this. I find it quite a relaxing way of spending a couple of hours actually putting these rivets on. But you can kind of see how this works. This is a simple model, nice and straightforward. Obviously, if you're working on something bigger, you may want to check out plans and that kind of thing and see where the lines of rivets were in reality, and then add those following the guides that you can see in the pictures. One of the other things about this as well is that I don't now sand the surface of this. I know some modelers do that because they like to have the little impressions within the surface of the model, but I like to leave the rivets standing slightly proud. It kind of gives the impression of the sort of raised rivet detail that you sometimes see on these older aircraft, and that's the impression that I'm trying to get. So I don't work too hard on getting the surface nice and smooth once it's finished. I leave it alone, and then underneath the paint you can see a nice impression of the way that these raised rivets look. So that's it. Really simple guide, nice and easy. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope to see you again next time. Take care and goodbye.